Hi Year 3, it's time to do some maths now. So hopefully the date's the 28th of the 1st, 21. It's got the right day. Should be Thursday. And look, let's look at the learning intention. Look, it says, I know how to measure time in minutes. Because I think yesterday we were learning about measuring time in hours, weren't we? And we were looking at how long or when an activity started. We're going to do something slightly different today. But before we talk about what we're doing, let's have a little look at the problem. So down here it says, the game of football started at 11:20 a.m. It lasted for 45 minutes. What time did the game end? Okay, so I'm going to give you 5-10 minutes to go and work that out. And remember, you can use any strategy you want to, but you must use a strategy. You can't just say it ends at, because you've got to prove your answer. Now, if you do that, there is an extra challenge down here. What does the word duration mean? Now, duration obviously is a time word, and if you're not sure, I would suggest that you go and look up in the dictionary or look up in Google and then write down on your piece of paper or your maths book what the word duration means. It's quite useful sometimes. So what you're going to do in a minute is you're going to pause me and then come back after 5-10 minutes, whatever time you feel is the best, and then we'll look at the answers. All right? Okay, off you go. See you in a minute. Bye-bye. Right, you're back now. Is that 5-10 minutes? Did you manage to complete both those tasks? If you did, well done. If you tried your hardest, don't worry. So I'm going to look at the challenge first today. It says, what does the word duration mean? Well, I looked up in a couple of dictionaries because I wasn't too sure, and I like this definition the best. So the word duration means the length of time something lasts. So for example, you would say the duration of this game of football is 45 minutes because the game lasted 45 minutes from the start to the finish. The duration is 45 minutes. Got that? Okay, good. So let's go and have a little look and see what the answer to the problem was. Ready? Right. So the answer was the game finishes at 12:05 p.m. Again, you wouldn't be playing football in the middle of the night, would you? So let's have a look about how we could solve this problem. So you could have done like I did with your little clock here, and you could have just counted on. So I need to count on 45 minutes, but before I do that, I need to make sure my clock is set to 11:20. So look, it's already saying 11 o'clock, so I need to move my blue hand round until it gets to the 20 past. So I'm going to do that by counting in fives. Do you remember we said yesterday that these are intervals of fives? So let's go, ready? 5, 10, 15, 20. Just make sure that's the right time. Fantastic. So now I've made the time on the clock. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to count on in 5 minutes. I'm going to count on how many minutes? 45 minutes. You ready? So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. There we go. Sorry if you couldn't see that. It's very hard to do this when you can't see a clock properly. So the time here says, so it's 12 o'clock and it's 5 past 12. 12 minutes past, 12:05 p.m. It's the same. So if you've got a clock, you can do it like that. Don't forget that the interactive clock is on the maths resource pack, so you can use that if you want to instead. Or the other way you can use it is, of course, a number line. There are different ways as well, but again, those are the two main ways that we're going to look at today. So to do it on a number line, remember we're counting on today because what we're doing is we're finding the end time, not the start time. So today we need to add the minutes on to find the end time. So if we're doing it on the clock, we've got 45 minutes. And this is where we have to use our number bonds because you will need to use your number bonds to 60 because between 11:20 and 12, so 11:20 and 60 if you like, or 20 and 60, we know we have to add 40 minutes. So we're going to jump to the nearest hour. Again, we do this because it's easier than jumping past the hour. So we know we've got to add 40 minutes. Now you could do this in little jumps. So you could go 5, 10, 15, just like we did on the clock. But because I know my number bonds, I'm going to do a big jump of 40. And you can see up here already, someone has already partitioned 45 minutes into 40 minutes and 5 minutes using the number bonds. So I'm going to add 40 minutes, which means I arrive at 12 noon. Now remember, the game started at AM. And then, because I arrived at 40 minutes, I've still got 5 minutes left to add. So 12 add 5, 12:05 p.m. Can you see? That's easy, isn't it? Yeah, it has just as I say, you need to practice your number bonds to 60 and you'll be absolutely fine and you need to add them all. Okay, so we know the game finished at 12:05 because we used a number bonds and we added on minutes on the number line to the nearest hour and then we added on any minutes we've got left over, or we used the clock. So let's see what's next. Okay, so this one says we have to work out what time do these activities end. So first one says 1 o'clock, the activity or the duration of the activity is 55 minutes. So I wonder what time they end at. Interesting. So what could I do to work it out? Well, I could count round in fives like we just did before. So let's go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. So there we go. I've added 5 minutes, which means the little hand will now be pointing up here. So it's not quite got round to the 12. So therefore, it must be 1:55. Oh, here we go again. I'm not quite sure if that's PM or AM. It doesn't tell me on my analog clock. So I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay. Or, of course, the other way that you can do is you can do your number line. So we don't like that number line. Let's draw one using this. There we go. I'm going to draw some extra ones here as well. I might need them in a minute. Okay, so there's my number lines there. Let's go back to my pen. I could say, right, I can start at 1 o'clock. I'm sure it's 1 o'clock, isn't it? Yeah, just check. Okay. Here comes my writing. Not good at all. And then I can add 55 minutes. So I could break 55 if I wanted to into, because I know I'm not going to reach the next hour, because I know 55 add 5 is going to be 60. So I'm not going to reach the next hour. So I know that already. I could break this down into 30 and 25 if I wanted to. And that's minutes, obviously. Right, minutes there. Very messy writing. I need to get a smaller mouse, that would help, I think. So, if I add 30 minutes to 1 o'clock, ready, big jump, I'm going to write 30 mins. Remember, I need to write mins, not meters, because that would just be an M, so that'd be very confusing. So 30 mins, then it would be 1:30. Okay, so now to 30, I've got to add, or 1:30, 25. So if I did that part, I've got to add the second part now. So on here, I'm going to write 25 mins. Trying to write it very carefully for you. Now I know that 30 at 25 obviously equals 55 because I've done that before. So the time, the end of my number line, is going to be 1:55, which is the same here. That was quite easy. Really, you don't need to use a number line for it, but if you're a bit worried and you want to check your work, it's a good thing to use. Okay, so that was easy one. Oh, let's go to this one next. Oh, this is a bit tricky, isn't it? Because it's got those Roman numerals again. Let's look at my hands. I think that hand's a shorthand. So that's pointing to 6. That's my hour hand. And this one here, well, mustn't quite be on the 6, is pointing to the 11. See the X and the 1. That means 10 add 1, which is 11. So it's 5, because it's not quite yet on the 12. 5 to 6. So I might need to write that down. So it's 5:55. Okay, I'm going to write that down on my number line. I'll make my pen a bit thicker. So I wonder if it might be easier to use. Okay, so that's 5:55. 5 minutes to 6, or 5:55. If I count around there, it'll be 55 minutes. And to that, I need to add 20 minutes. So I've got my clock here. It's going to take me a while because I need to keep going around because I've got a little time there. You ready? I've gone past it now. 5:55. So there we go. I made 5:55. It looks like it's on the 6, doesn't it, really? And then I need to add 20 minutes. So we're going to count round in fives again. Ready? 5, 10, 15, 20. So the time is 6:15 or 6:15. Okay, I'm going to write that in my answer block, and then I'm going to use my number line to check. We'll have to say that's easier to write than the thick bit. Now, 5:55. So I seem to remember before we said about counting on, didn't we, to the nearest hour. So I've got to count on 20. So I know that 60 take away 5 is 55. So here I'm going to partition 20 minutes. Yeah. Oh, still not good. So into 5 minutes, and because it's 20, into 15, and that's minutes. I'm not going to write it again, just have to remember it. So first thing I'm going to do then is I'm going to add this bit here, which don't forget says 5 minutes. So I'm going to add my 5 minutes. I've got to write M-I-N-S in there. And then to add 5 minutes, that takes me to 6 p.m. Oh, actually, I don't know it's p.m., do I? 6 o'clock. Oh no, a little bit just more writing. Okay, 6 o'clock, very messy. And then I've got 15 minutes left to add. So I'm going to add 15 minutes. 15, right mins in here. So 6 out of 15, so I can even use it here. So I'm going 5, 10, 15, 6, 15. Ranging 1 to 2. So there you go. That agrees with the time that I worked out using my little yellow clock. 6:15. Got it? Okay, that's fine. Now the next one is slightly tricky. I'm going to explain it to you, but you know, if you can't do these ones where you've got the digital time, don't worry too much. It's because you're not counting in fives. Because look, it says 07:49 or 7:49 a.m. So you've got to add 30 minutes to it. So that's why it becomes a bit tricky. So the first thing I need to do is on my clock is make 7:49. And this is where it becomes hard because these clocks are not very good for showing minutes. Okay, there we go. I think I've done it. My hour hand's nearly on the 8, and my minute hand there is just before the 10. Can you see? So if I count it back, I'll go 5, 10, and one more will be 11. So it is 7:49 or 11 minutes to 8. Now that's a bit of a clue, isn't it? Because did you see what I did then? I added 11 minutes to get to the nearest hour. So we need to remember that for next time. Now here it says I have to add 30 minutes. So I am still going to count in fives, but this is where it gets tricky. So I'm here on 49, so I need to go, actually, should I count in tens? Might be easier, I can count in tens. So I'm going to go 10 more minutes. So from 49, add 10 is 59. So I've added 10 minutes, can you see? And I'm literally 1 minute away from the 12. So I added 10 minutes, I've got to add 30. I'm going to add another 10. So that will take me nearly round to 5, 10, to nearly round to the 2. Like they're going to the one before. If you look very, very carefully, you can see the little numbers there help you. So I started off, okay, at 7:49. I added, remember I didn't touch my hour because I'm not adding hours today. I added 10 minutes, which took me up to 7:59. I've added, and this is where my hour hand has passed, and now I'm on 8 o'clock, another 10 minutes, which takes me to 8:09. Well, I think it was 8:09 because I've gone past the 12, so I've reached the next hour. So that's 20 minutes, and then I'm going to add another 10 minutes. So from there, I'm going to go around 5, 10, so just before the 4. So it's going to be 19. There we go. Okay. So the time there says 8:19. So I'm going to write it here. Oh, it's 08, isn't it? It is AM. I'm going to write here 0, 8, because I've crossed the hour, but I haven't added any hours. Dot, dot. I'm going to check my clock, see what time it was. 08:19. That is a bit tricky, but I'm sure you can do it. Now, do you remember I said I gave you a clue just a minute ago when you're rounding to the nearest hour? Because what I did, didn't I, was I worked out that 49 add 11 would get me to the next hour, because 49 and 11 is 60. So I have got here 30 minutes, or my number ones come in again. So I've got 30 minutes. I know that I'm going to use 11 minutes here. I'm going to write minutes. I think it's slightly better. So if I've used 11 minutes from 30, that means I'm left with 19 minutes. I know that 11 and 19 equals 30. I also know 49 and 11 equals 60. So here, I'm going to start at this end of my number line because we're adding. Then write 07:49, because that's the time on the digital clock. And then I'm going to add my 11 minutes, which will bring me up to 8 o'clock, or 08, because don't forget writing digital time here, dot, so that's my hour. I have no minutes at the moment. So 08, colon 00, 8 o'clock. I've added 11 minutes. Now, I've got to add this, which says 19. So I've got to add 19 minutes. Actually, I can already tell this bit's going to be easy. I've done the hard bit. Okay. I'm going to add 19 minutes. So I haven't got any hours to add. I know that 00 and 19 can be 19. And then I know I haven't got any hours, so it's going to be 0, 8, 19. And that's right, can you see? It's the same as when I worked it out on my little clock. So you've got those two methods of using it. Don't forget to say we're adding, so that's why we're starting at the left-hand side of the number line. We're not subtracting because we're trying to work out what time these events finish at, not start at. All right? So when you're doing that, it's easiest to jump to the nearest hour, then add any minutes you've got remaining. So that's what I've been doing, but you do need to know your number bonds. So the first thing you need to do is you kind of need to work out how many minutes you need to jump to get to the nearest hour. Let's have a look at today's task. Okay, there we go. So there are a range of different clocks there, and don't forget this is in your maths pack, so if you can't read it from here, don't worry, because it's all in your maths pack ready for you. So on the first clock, you've got to add 35 minutes. Remember, you can count round, like I did in fives. Next one 40, and then the next one 40 as well. As I say, these ones you might think a bit tricky. Actually, that time there is not too tricky to add 40 minutes to. So give it a go, but if you're struggling with the digital time, come back to it, okay? And then you've got, oh, that's quite easy, adding 10 minutes, 50, 40, and 25. Again, that one a bit tricky. I think you can have a really good go of those and see how you're getting on. Again, I'm not going to write the answers. The answers will be on your home learning plan, so you can check them when you finish. If you do that really well, there's a challenge, of course. I like this challenge here. It's about the school day. So what you're going to do today in your challenge is do a timetable of a typical year 3 day. You don't have to be totally accurate because obviously you might not know all the times, but you remember you need to fit in things like soda, which we do when we get in, maths, then break, book talk, English, lunch, which starts at 12:30 lunch and ends at 1:20. That's quite important. Got a bit of handwriting, PE, spelling, and then last but not least, home time. You will need to work out the durations of these lessons to fit them into the day. Now, the lessons do not need to be exactly the same at school, but you just need to see if you can fit everything in without any gaps, unless you can fill a gap with maybe a story or something. Okay, that is quite a good challenge, but I really look forward to seeing your work. I hope you understand everything, and I'll see you soon. Okay, goodbye, year 3. Have a good day.